Welcome back to One of My Podcasting. We're going to go ahead and talk about dating, and we're going to talk about dating in your league. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's hard. Modern dating, the myths of dating in your league. I've been reading a lot of books, and just reading a lot about things in terms of modern dating, and on TikTok there are so many people that are experts. Kevin Samuels is one of those that I always see clips of all the time. Fresh and Fit podcast, like you see him. And you hear women that will come back the same way about what expectations they might have. Well, you might feel like it's not everybody out there, and it's not. And it's only in this country, honestly. I don't think it's really something that's so effective in other countries, especially in Latin America, or, just the thought process. Especially if you're a country of have-nots and it's a predominantly poor country, these kind of things that the modern women might ask for, we're a spoiled society, okay? We have a lot of things here. And so the things that women might ask for, and, the fact that men are not going to be able to go and get anything similar to the kind of woman they would get in a poor, desolate diaspora that would just love someone that supported them and lifted them up and supported and gave them everything they needed and was their protector, their provider, their hunter-gatherer, all that. There's women out there that really appreciate that. But for those that have been given the mindset that, if they might have grown up with a single parent, maybe a single mom, or that they have the whole thought of where other siblings, other peers, whether it's older sisters, aunts, who knows, other women telling them, you need to go ahead and take care of yourself. You don't need a man for this and that. You don't need a man to make a living for yourself, to make a life for yourself. You could do it all on your own. But then there's certain things that a woman will want a man for when they're in that mindset, which will be, well, they want to have kids, or are you going to adopt? Or are you going to go ahead and go in vitro fertilization? Like, what is it that or what are you going to use a man for? Are you going to just use a man and divorce him to go on to the next man? Or do you need a man for social status? Like, what's the real use of a man in modern dating? That's the whole idea of modern dating and the whole idea of all this. So the new rules of modern dating, the Sun magazine actually talked about, and I didn't get a chance to bring this up, but we're going to go ahead and go into this right now. It was an exclusive poll that the Sun had done. This is back right around Halloween time. That they said that more than a third of singles see little or no problem dating multiple people at once. 1 in 5 has had an open relationship where one or both partners have sex with other people too. Open relationships. And those multi-dating, a third are seeing up to 6 different people. It's not only monogamy that lovers are turning their backs on. Nearly half of us would now have sex on a first date. But then that's just not dating. That's just friends with benefits. That's just hookup culture. So when it comes to making the first move, half of daters think that men should ask girls out. Yet a third of men don't think they should foot the bill on a first date. And more than half of women agree. However, 15% of men say would be offended if the woman offered to pay. 1 in 10 women says they get offended if the men offer. So the Sun reports here how we have fallen out of love with chivalry too, traditional manners, as men buying women flowers and opening doors are being frowned upon. There's all this being said. More than 37% of the daters surveyed declared they don't want children. Talking about sex is no longer taboo on a first date, with nearly 46% saying they would discuss it. So look, when I look at my own personal look at, and this is just me, okay, I understand and I can appreciate everyone that wants to go ahead and be expressive as they wish. So if a woman wants to put on a septum ring, if guys want to have loads of tattoos and be sleeved up, have them on their neck, put them on wherever. If you want to change your hair color, if you want to wear tight, skinny jeans, your guys, and, they kind of look like they would look good on a girl, but they look kind of different on you. And you decide to change your hair color up, and you decide to go and tat yourself up, put a lot of piercings on. It's not even metrosexual anymore. It's just becoming where you're just adding female accessories to yourself. And, also the guys are not looking necessarily to go ahead and get bulked up or build on the muscle they have or look strong or look alpha or even kind of just have, just some tendencies to do what men might do because it might be considered sexist or misogynistic and the whole patriarchy and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I get that part. But for me, when it comes to the women, I want a woman. And I'm not interested in a woman that necessarily, I mean, I wouldn't be too much of a thing when it comes to finding a woman that might have her hair changed colors sometimes or septum rings or piercings. But tattoos, when you're talking about tattoos being put everywhere, when you're seeing a woman that, if you got to wear a dress or a bikini or something, just whatever, and then you're baring your shoulders, you're baring your stomach, you're baring your legs, and you just got whatever it is crawling out of your body because you got different tattoos of snakes and dragons and who knows what else, or Chinese symbols all over the place. And then the other part is that once you start getting the tattoos, oh, I got the outlining of this particular tattoo. Oh, I'm going to color it. I'm going to do something else with it. I'm going to do something else to cover on top of the covering. It just becomes an addiction. And, instead of becoming just a woman that just appreciates her natural beauty, it's being thought process that, oh, well, women should not look at their natural beauty, that there is a natural beauty, that you need to do something to change yourself, and that you also get conformed or pressured into changing things about yourself because everybody else is doing it and you don't want to have the fear of missing out. So there's that part. And so for me to date in my league, there's no such league anymore. What it is that there might be a league of dating, but for me, I think that's misconstrued now. I don't think there's any such thing as that anymore. Psychology Today actually wrote about dating in your league and dating apps knowing the secret to matching is attainability. So in the field of mathematics, we're talking about the stable marriage problem. Given a dating pool where everyone preferences and a partner find a way to produce stable matches. Matches are considered stable when no pairs of people exist who would prefer each other over their current partner. So again, one person to one person, and they're exactly compatible. Dating apps are faced with the same dilemma as those in the stable marriage problem. Matching people with their most preferred partner, and they might be rejected. But pair them with somebody who doesn't meet their preferences, and they can end up settling when a better option exists. And listen, I'm saying nothing about interracial, or if I felt the one to go and be with another man, or a man dressed as a woman, or a man who had the operation to be transgendered. Well, that's my choice, and that's okay. But I'd rather just let that, if you want to date someone and they're whatever kind of gender or gender fluidity that you want, that's fine. But I don't like the whole thing of everybody having to go and change themselves so much. Like there was a time where listen, goth or emo chicks are very cool and they have a great look to them. And there's something about seeing a woman that has pale skin and a certain look that she might put herself together. That's cool. Or a rocker chick, whatever. But now we're so involved. And when you get older, man, for some of the people that decide to get tattoos, what is it going to look like the next generation that comes up? And starting to see all these people that are getting old, that are going to be just decrepit and have all this bad, horrible skin that has been, you're going to have all these warped, twisted tattoos on you that is going to look so weird. Just thinking about that is interesting. When I go to the mall, I see that so much. But when I go to other areas that might be either very rich or very poor, you might not see so much. That's just... Now, in the story, they talk about the matching hypothesis, which explains how people behave in face-to-face dating scenarios, the possibility that people will be bolder in the pursuit of partners on dating apps. What's happening is, when it comes to dating apps, you also cannot see all of these things like I'm talking about. When you see some women or some men that are on a dating site, it's never through the pictures, which is what everybody's really paying attention to. You're never going to get the full representation of that person. Because you know what? I've seen a lot of girls that they might have their setup, and of course, with filters and with makeup and with so many other things, you can absolutely transform who you look like just for your profile. But then who you look like an actual person, it looks nothing like. Those kind of things are very fascinating. But you don't release that. You don't really realize what's going on. So you might be matched, but I still think there's a physical attraction that has to be part of things. If you're not, I really have to feel like, I know women are supposed to say that they're not attracted to a man's looks, but more to a man's heart or to their mind. But you also have to think about, okay, What kind of heart do you have if you decide to go and do things that could be considered degrading by putting so much change in you as to how you originally were born? You know, the skin that you're in. I mean, I try to make that point also as well. Like, if you want somebody that is more heavy set or much skinnier, body type, gender, all of that should be all fair game. But then when somebody decides to go in, they're not happy with the skin they're in, their natural, God-given looks. Why the biological look of what they're given with? I just feel like if there were more people out there that could just go ahead and encourage and empower men and women to not feel like there's something wrong with the way they look, that they have to make so many changes about themselves to make them feel better about themselves, or to make them feel like they look like what they're supposed to look like. Same people that always see the plastic surgery. I can understand some of that to a point, but when some people just go too far. Same thing as we thought about with ink or with piercings. But you know what? The ink and tattoo shops, they can't help themselves. They're going to make all the money they want. And if they can get repeat customers, the more power to them. So they're going to do it anyway. But that's not my thing. And so when you look at dating apps, you look at who's people in your league, and noticing that whole league thing is gone, because you might meet somebody on a dating app with a pretty face, or somebody that just has a nice, presence about them. But then you'll see, what about all these other exterior overlying factors you're going to find out about this person? What are they going to become? So these are the kind of things I think about when I'm not podcasting. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll talk to you next time.